sexual identified men are killing Black trans women. Black ones.
We are not talking about it in the church.
Those street guys are already engineers. If they're mixing drugs and stuff together, they're chemical engineers.
If you're just like, yeah, let's kill 50 cops just because, you know, that's only a fraction of the Black people that they killed. Wait, now you're talking about my wife.
For those of you who are joining in, we are talking about just the housing in the Black community and owning property, why it's important, and how to get yourself in there.
When I think of financial literacy, I just don't think of the classroom work. I think some of it is practical application.
I'm scared, especially, you know, calling them to arms, talking about poll workers or poll watchers. That is rooted in history of voter suppression and intimidation.
Joe Biden needs to make that a part of his educational platform.
Call that shit out.
I don't see much value in you speaking in tongues, and yet when you speak in English, you don't say nothing for my people.
Many of the reasons why we're dying is because of the conditions we live under that cause our health to be so bad, and that cause it's the food, it's the water, it's clean that shit up first.
When their fathers had prostate cancer, I had like 150% chance of getting cancer, being diagnosed with cancer. I had a friend that did a raw vegan diet, 20 years remission, had thyroid cancer, never had surgery. I'm like, that's what I'm doing.
Well, this week in Black people shit, Sistas gonna work it out. Black women entrepreneurs. I'm your host, Christy Ferris, and I am back. In a recent article in Forbes magazine, it stated that for years, Black women have created new businesses that have been far outpacing other racial and ethnic groups. But strong financial headwinds from the pandemic and a lack of access to new funding sources threatened to wipe out decades of economic progress, leaving Black female business owners in a state of perpetual uncertainty, waiting for relief they fear will never come. Today, we have singer, actor, and personal trainer Brave Williams and CEO and founder of Nakeah of Hollywood Cosmetics, Nakeah Fuller, to discuss the triumphs and setbacks of being a Black woman entrepreneur. And with me, as always, is the lovely and talented actress and singer Janora McDuffie and writer and the all-around genius Abdul Majid.
Hey!
Chelsea Ferris.
What's up?
Now,
Y'all
wait.
What?
You introduced me as a singer too. Are y'all in my car or in my shower? Because that's the only place I sound good. I don't know where that extra title came from, but I'll take it today.
Did we introduce you as a singer? I thought it was.
You did.
Yes.
Did I?
Yeah.
And you introduced yourself as a genius.
No, I introduced myself as the all-around genius. There's a difference.
Oh,
I'm a genius in multiple spaces.
But most importantly, yes, welcome back, Christy. We
Thank
missed you.
I missed you guys too. I'm so excited to be back. And, you know, I know y'all was, you know, handling it. And I'm just, you know, I always say this to you guys offline, but I'm just so glad that I have you guys in my life because I would hate for the show to fail because I'm not here. You know what I mean? So, and it would
get a chance to see did you get a chance to see our version of the Hatfields and McCoys? Janora and her brother versus me and my brother?
I promise you. You know, I just got off a plane, had to self-tape 10 pages, and I am going to go back and rewatch the episodes. So, Joseph, thank you. I am back. And yes, it would be great if we did have 2 episodes. And Tori said Janora sings. Yeah, she's like,
Tori caught that too. It's my line, so she has heard me sing by default, and not a note is nice. I mean, it's an effort. It is beautiful, but that's about it. Hey, Tori, welcome back.
Yeah. Well,
and
yes. So I'm happy to be back. There are some things that I will be doing because my agent is emailing me, asking me what's going on with my self-tape that has not been uploaded. So I might be doing that a little bit while we're doing all this stuff. But we have 2 wonderful, amazing women that are on the show. I'm so super excited. And I have to make sure I say, please like and share and all that good stuff. I'm sure you guys know that. So let's just get back into this hot topic. So as you guys know, over the weekend, Oprah Winfrey did an interview with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. It has caused a bit of a stir with accusations of racism and bigotry coming from the royal family. Black Twitter is going ham, doing the paper brown test and all that kind of stuff. I mean, they are literally going ham. But do you believe the accusations are true? Or do you believe that it's just a stunt for them to get more money? Which I know they didn't get paid for that interview. But yeah, what are your thoughts?
That shit is true. It's all true. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, they've already.
I think it's a bit of both.
From the royal family.
Really?
I'm sorry. Say that again, Abdul. I didn't hear what you said.
No, I'm just saying. I think it's a bit of both. I think they are leveraging what they have in order to get some money. I don't think that with the history of the royal family being Nazi sympathizers and slave merchants, for them to act like Nazi sympathizers and slave merchants is not a surprise to anyone. And what bothers me, and I think I've said this to you behind the scenes, is I don't like them leveraging Black American sympathy to get what they want from their people. And
yeah,
I think that's what exactly.
I just don't. I feel like I know you talked about the whole Nazi sympathizer, and I know
they are, which is a fact.
Okay, and of course I feel like that's not true.
It is true. I can prove it.
No, I believe you can. I believe you can. But what are your thoughts, Janora?
I don't think that they're leveraging Black America. I think they are shining a light on what the crown and this whole British Empire has always been. But now maybe what they're leveraging is the chapter that we are in, where we are finally awake, or more of us than before are awake, and got some folks that don't look like us that see the wrongs and the errors of history. So I think they're leveraging our openness to call some stuff out and to hopefully do something about it. I mean, I'm not sure what that would be, but I think it's past time for this whole antiquated process and structure of the British Empire just to be shooken up. I'd be mad if I'm a British resident and citizen and my taxes are going to paying for where they live and what they do. And just because somebody's born in a family, all of a sudden you're put on a pedestal? No. And then, yes, rooted in history of colonizing the world as we know it. So yes, time for a lot of these structures to be torn down. And maybe this interview was just part of one or two bricks at a time coming on down. So yes, time's up. I love it. I'm here for it.
Well,
Go ahead. What you say, Christy? I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead. No. Go ahead.
I'm saying this has nothing to do with us as Americans or Black Americans. This is a British concern having to do with the royal family. They could have did this in England. They could have did this in Australia. They could have did this in Canada, but they didn't. They used the platform, which is the biggest platform, America, using the biggest person, Oprah Winfrey, at a point in time where Black people are catching hell, and it's and set in this a racist society, and they used that in order to, because that was the headline. Racism was the headline, and they did.
Meghan Markle is American. I'm not understanding what your point is. Meghan Markle is American.
Yeah, Meghan Markle is American. Meghan Markle is American, but her issue is British. It has nothing to do with us. The crown has nothing to do with us as Americans. That is a British issue. Just because she's American doesn't mean anything that particular issue with that particular family has anything to do with Americans.
It is if your view of your life is only the United States of America. During Black Lives Matter, we saw people around the world of color join together and say, no, Black lives do matter no matter what country.
Where did she get married?
When?
Where did she get married? Where?
The UK, in front of the palace. Or
we roll out to that whole thing. Where was it? It wasn't here? The roll out. The parties, the pre-parties. It all had to do with it. The point is that even her herself, she doesn't, from what I've read and from my understanding of her, she never really aligned with Black people. She's always aligned with what she could pass doing based on what I've read. I'm just basing off what I've read.
And I haven't read any of that stuff. So that's why I'm a little like, I mean, so basically you're basically saying that you feel like, okay, she wasn't identifying with Black people at all. And now all of a sudden she's out here using Black Americans or Black people to come to her defense. Is that what you're kind of saying? Sort of like now all of a sudden you want to cross over to the black side, and
it's not even about crossover to the black side. It's about using a point in time where this emphasis on blackness is such heightened that it's being leveraged to get something, to get a point across on her side. And that's my feelings about it, based on the things that I've read.
I hear what you are saying, Abdul, but this is so much greater than Meghan Markle, or Meghan Markle maybe pledging a white sorority in college. It's so much bigger than that. And it's so much bigger than being a Black American. We're talking about people of the darker hue across the world and globe, and what we can do to rise up. And so if you just want to make it about, well, Meghan Markle didn't want to be Black in college or whatever, I don't know her history or her past either, but it doesn't matter if she, how much she embraces or not. But shucks, you can't tell me that she doesn't. I mean, we saw her mama proudly up in that church in locks, in all her queenness and glory. Either way, my point is, it's greater than Meghan Markle. This can have implications of something, again, that's been rooted in history for generations. And I'm here for that. Sign me up. And so we just feel trained. It ain't nothing new.
Okay. Hold on. Thornton said, I agree with Abdul. So
Thornton, I thought we were homies.
Your homie agrees with me.
I love it. Okay, so let me ask you. So last week they announced that Maya Chaka, who became the first Black woman to become an NFL official at the football's highest level. What are your thoughts on her accomplishments? And do you think the NFL is just trying to, make up for all the controversial decisions and treatment that they did for Colin Kaepernick? What are your thoughts, Chidora?
My thoughts are, Kathy agrees with me. I'm going to start there. Hey, Kathy, thank you for being here today. And I do not think that they are hiring her just because she's Black. No, she's put in her work. She's talked about the years spent leading up to this moment. No, go ahead, girlfriend as in female, go ahead, sister girl as in Black female. I love to see these ceilings being broken. So yeah, watch your feet, y'all. It's coming in sports too. So yay. I'm here for that too.
Abdul?
I think two things can be true. I think she can have worked hard and done the things that she's done to get where she is, because she is, from everything that I've read and I looked at, her and another woman took this particular program that the NFL was giving in order to become referees, that she deserved everything that she's gotten. So none of this is a given. Congratulations to her. But at the same time, the NFL has gone above and beyond, giving us symbolisms to try to appease us for the setbacks that they've caused athletes, Black athletes. They don't have, guaranteed contracts. The union is corrupted. They haven't apologized to Colin Kaepernick, saying that he was right. Like, they've done everything from a symbolism standpoint, but from a substantive standpoint, they've been lacking in every way, shape, or form. So yes, I do give them credit for not even giving her a chance. She earned it. She earned her spot. So I can't even say they gave her anything. That she earned her spot, and they're not doing right by Black people at the same time.
Well, Thornton said it's long overdue. I should put it up there. Long overdue. There should have been women in those positions decades ago. And Elaine said it's about time for a Black female referee. So yeah, I agree with you on that one. Anything else before I jump into our two wonderful women that we have here, our entrepreneurs?
Well, I just think this last story is a beautiful platform and segue to our beautiful ladies, because in her interview, she talked about working hard and dreams coming true and not giving up. So I'm ready. I'm ready for this next segment.
Yes. Well, everybody out there, our guests today are two women who are charting a path to success as entrepreneurs and doing it their own way. So Brave Williams is an accomplished personal trainer, actress, and singer who has been recording and releasing new music like her latest ballad, Don't Tell Me No, through her own record label, Brave New World, SRG and then ILS Universal Group. She has also landed noted acting roles in VH1's Crazy Sexy Cool, the TLC Story Biop, BET's Angrily Ever After, BET's All In, her first leading role in Netflix, Love.com, and another supporting actress role in BET's The Christmas Lottery. And we did get a chance to work together as well on Bad Dad Rehab. That was on TV1. Nakeah Fuller. Yay, there she is. Yay. Okay, Nakeah Fuller is a professional blogger, influencer, commercial actor, public speaker, makeup artist to the stars, educator, branding expert, and founder of Nakeah's Academy of Makeup, Nakeah Cosmetics of Hollywood, Man by Nakeah, Brunch and Beauties and Worldwide Women's Network and digital course platform, and all things beauty. A renowned blogger sharing the very best in beauty, fashion, entertainment, and lifestyle. Nakeah has also trained thousands of students who joined her academy from around the world, all while she provides professional services for countless celebrities, customers, renowned photographers, designers, film, TV producers, creative directors, and production companies. Woo! Please welcome to the show, Brave Williams and Nakeah Fuller.
Hey. Yeah.
Welcome to the show, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. And so I also had the opportunity to work with Nakeah. And let me just tell you briefly, Nakeah was working on this show and on this movie that Wesley and I were doing, Wesley Jonathan, which also was in the movie that Brave and I did. But Wesley and I were working on this independent movie. And I just remember Nakeah saying, I'm going to move to Hollywood and I'm going to do this. And and she just had all this stuff. And I was like, well, come on, girl. And I remember inviting you to my mom's house because you had nowhere to go for Thanksgiving. I was like, come stay with me and come hang out with me. And next thing you know, I turn around and she got a store, she just blew up. And I'm like, this woman is everywhere. So I'm really proud and so excited about being able to share these stories about these two young, beautiful, incredible, talented women. So welcome to the show. So let me start with you, Brave. You're a singer, you're an actress. I know that you also do training, all of that. Tell us just a little bit how you decided to move from just being on the outskirts and creating your own opportunities.
Honestly, well, before I get into that, I want to say congrats to you because you too are wearing so many hats. I mean, and as well, like Abdul, it's like my motto is I use me up. I want to be able to pour out all that I have. And that's why for me, it started young, honestly. I think you have people that are born entrepreneurs, people that are willing to work hard. And it started for me very young with the writing. I knew that I wanted to learn all the business side of music. And that's honestly why I put the group together, Rich Girl, because I knew that would help catapult just a world of understanding and information when it came down to record labels. So it's almost like even though you're an artist, when your eyes are open to the business side, you're on both sides. You are in the business and you're creative. So for me, it was really about taking that power, creating my own label, getting my label signed to Universal, in the interim of still not letting go of the fact that there are other things that I'm passionate about, like fitness, as you mentioned. And that's why I also started Brave Williams Fitness Club. I chose to go back to school to become certified, to become licensed, to really understand the science behind losing weight. And it's a blessing when you have multiple things that you're passionate about, because when you're passionate about it, it doesn't feel like work. Acting doesn't feel like work. Singing doesn't feel like work. When I'm in the gym training these women, it doesn't feel like work. I love it. So, so yeah.
Well, you look amazing. I have to say, you look amazing. Yes. So
thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Before I let everybody else jump in, let me just ask you, Nakeah, how did you go from, being a makeup artist to creating your own line, like that's a big, huge step.
Well, I will say, after working for so many other brands, Christy, working for MAC for many years, being on the runway team in New York, you know, it was kind of expected. People say now, you know, I work for Bobbi Brown, NARS, so many different brands. And I always dreamed of having my own, but I knew all of the labs, I knew the chemists, I knew the manufacturers, being at all those trade shows. And it was like, you have these resources and all of these companies are paying you to come in and teach. There's a reason why you're getting cases and cases of free makeup, and people are sending their private jets for you to come and teach a makeup class. Wow. There's a reason why. And when I thought about it, I was like, you know what, why not do this for myself? I'm creating wealth for so many other brands. I can do it for myself. And I just jumped. I'm a jumper. And I push everybody that I know to also jump in and not be afraid. You're going to have that fear, but I always say, you just got to do it. Ain't nothing to it but to do it, is my saying. Mm-hmm. And I developed my own brand. I just started reaching out. And I just literally dove in, and I know ingredients, I know product, I can taste it, smell it, and know what's in it. And during my MAC days as a trainer, Christy, I literally walked around with a product manual, and my colleagues would tease me because they're like, why are you studying the ingredients? You know the makeup. I'm like, I want to know what's in it. Right. I want to know what's in it. And I began to study and study and study. So my friends call me a makeup nerd, and I am. I can tell you exactly what's in that lipstick or what's in that foundation. So it is who I am, and developing my own line is a dream come true.
Well, let me just tell everybody, these lips that I have right now is hers. I have on her brand right now. Matter of fact, every single week I'm wearing her brand. So yeah, just so you guys know.
That's awesome.
You've always been such a big support, Christy. From the moment we met, let me tell you, the love runs deep. When I see your name, I see you on TV. I'm like, that's my girl. I get so excited. I always tell people I'm her biggest fan. You have supported me when I was so green, working on a movie set, didn't know to go left, right, didn't know what call time meant. I mean, like, you educated me, took me under your wing, and said, Nakeah, you know, I support you, and you've been there. And I just want to say thank you, girl. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, that's what we do. We're supposed to continue to keep passing it on to every single person that we meet. And I think part of our problem is that a lot of times we don't know. You know what I mean? We don't know. And if people just give us the information, I think we can thrive. And obviously you have gone way beyond where I am in so many ways, which is absolutely beautiful. Go ahead. Yeah, I
got a question. So it seems like both of you worked hard to build your brands and build your business. And then the pandemic hit. So how has the pandemic affected your business? And how are you going to navigate the course post-pandemic?
That's good. Ooh, yeah. That's a good one. Brave, you want to go first?
Sure. I mean, for me, the biggest word that I have just embraced during this time is pivot. Everything is about a pivot. I don't think too deep into something where I'm thinking myself out of it. The pandemic for me has almost broken so many mental barriers that I once had. And it's almost like it's all for nothing more. For me and my business, I've actually stepped out on much larger faith-based decisions. And didn't think twice about it. Whereas before, pre-pandemic, it'd be like, Brave, don't do that. Don't reach out to this person. How is that going to look? You're going to look like this. It's going to feel like that. You might, go do proper protocol, go through management. It was all these things that would mentally keep me from doing certain decisions. And now it's like, this pandemic has made me so much more stronger in terms of my business sense. It's almost like there's no fear. I don't know how the transition happened, but it did. And I've been riding in that. And so for me, having a fearless energy now it completely pours over into my business, from me just booking agents and booking auditions and putting myself in the front line to say, I want this job. Who do I have to talk to? I've always been driven, but this pandemic has definitely forced me to just step into a new, I guess, I don't want to be cliche on words, but a braver attitude, if that makes sense.
Yes.
No, I was saying, go ahead. You can use that word. keep using your brand. But it is, I do believe that a lot of people during this time has started creating. I mean, this show, Abdul and I had already created this show, but we took it to a whole nother level with Janora, that I just feel like people are starting to become fearless in so many different ways. So thank you for sharing that. How about you, Nakeah?
Yes, I will share with you, prior to the pandemic, my focus was meeting with store buyers, the big stores, the big guys, Sephora, Macy's, Neiman's, being from Dallas, Texas, meeting with a lot of the buyers to launch my brand in stores. And then the stores closed. And prior to the pandemic, I will tell you, some of my business mentors said, you have an online store that's worldwide 24/7. Why are you so focused on going in stores? I'm like, but I want to be in stores. Let me tell you, when the pandemic hit and the stores closed, I realized I have a worldwide store, and I began to truly promote my website. We cleaned it up. We literally put tests on the website for our customers to take a quiz so they can get matched. We uploaded face charts. We added a live chat. And let me tell you, we started working 24/7. I had to hire someone to run the live chat in the day, change shifts, and somebody else to run it at night. And then I'm sitting over here with a cup of coffee going, okay, it's my turn, y'all. So we've been doing live consultations to women in Egypt and all over France and Australia. And I'm like, oh my God, they were right. I do have a worldwide store. So the pandemic literally said, Nakeah, you got this. By any means necessary. You've always had it. You just didn't know how to work it. And now you're forced to really work it. So and sales tripled. So it's been on. It's been on and popping. So I'm grateful for this transition and the pandemic pulling something out of me that made me say, I can do this. So it really encouraged me in that way for my business.
Yeah, I love it. Janora.
Yeah, actually, it's nice to be in the virtual room with you both. I am feeling motivated and inspired just through this computer screen. So go, sisters, go. I do have a question, but I first want to honor the questions from our live viewers, because I know that they are the reason we do this, to spread love and knowledge. So I just want to go back up quickly. Elaine had a question. She said she loves your drive, Nakeah. What made you step out on faith and move to LA? That's the first question.
It was definitely faith. There's an interview on my website called The Screwdriver. I drove to LA, and I've done a few exclusive interviews. Many people, my fans around the world, know that I drove to LA with the screwdriver because my car was stolen the night before I was scheduled to move to LA and start a film in 2 days. And my car was stolen. And so I literally, everybody got that hood uncle or cousin. My uncle gave me a screwdriver and said, hey, if you really want this, put this screwdriver in the ignition, don't let it fall out, and roll. And that's exactly what I did. And I literally pulled up to that movie set. Call time was 6:30. I pulled up at 6:25. And I think that, again, pulled so much muscle out of me. But, that movie set that I worked on, and when I met Christy and Wesley and so many other amazing talents, Lisa Ray, a long list of talents. And they all said, you're so fast. You're so good at what you do. That movie made me say, I'm moving to LA because this is where my tribe is. Being from Texas and being in Dallas, I tapped out. I'd done the Dallas Cowboys, the Dallas Mavericks, commercials, corporate ads. And it was like, okay, what next? What's my what next? So I said, I have to move to LA. It's either LA or New York, and I don't like the cold or the snow. So I said, I guess LA it is. And it was huge for me because, you know, if you know, Southerners, we're used to our big homes. I grew up on a ranch, you know, and we're comfortable. And so moving to LA was like, girl, you ain't gonna have no horses outside. You're not gonna have no 100 acres of land to ride your four-wheeler on. You're gonna be in your little small studio and you're gonna have to make it work. It was a major transition for me, but it made me work really, really hard. So that was something that drove me. It was so much talent. Like when I walk down the streets of LA, I'm inspired. Every single day, I live in the heart of Hollywood, and every single day, even if it's I don't want to say crazy, but a different type of person, I'm always inspired by something in Los Angeles. I could be having a cup of coffee, and somebody will walk past me with blue hair and something, and I get inspired to create. So that is what inspired me to move to Los Angeles, which is, as we know, a very interesting place to live.
Nice.
Right.
So, yes. Oh, go ahead.
No, and then I was just going to ask Thornton's question, although he didn't agree with me earlier, but it's okay. How many hours did both of you give to building your brand and business, which is an excellent question. And Brave, I guess I'll let you start off with this one.
Countless. It's still going. It never stops. And that's one thing that you just kind of have to accept. When you step out on anything that, you know, that you want to pursue, there is no cap on when your day ends. Sometimes I'm up at 4. I may not hit the bed till midnight. And whether it's long studio sessions, creating songs, whether it's creating workouts virtually for my clients, whether it's being in the gym, it doesn't stop. So for me, I can't even put in an actual hour amount of time because it's still going. I'm learning, and I'm even just being inspired by this conversation. So even when we hang up, I'm going to start writing because this, like Nakeah said, you can find inspiration anywhere. And depending on what your entrepreneurial base is, it's just, it doesn't stop.
Yes. I agree 100% with countless hours. When you said 4 a.m., I'm like, yes, Brave, that's me at 4 a.m. When people say I want to start a business, I want to run my own business. I'm tired of working for other people. I'm sick of corporate America. I always say, really? Well, are you willing to work at 4 a.m.? Are you willing to not sleep? Are you willing to go days with limited rest? Are you willing to sometimes, I'm in sweats and a t-shirt and I'm online checking orders and checking shipments and sending tracking numbers and creating new collections and looking to see what the latest trends are, hiring, interviewing, it's a lot that goes into it. So there's no sleep. And a lot of times when my friends are saying, hey girl, you want to go to Hawaii? Hey girl, we're going to Vegas this weekend. I'm like, oh, that show sounds lovely. But I got orders to get out, or I really, really got to work on my new packaging, so I missed a lot. It's a big sacrifice. I missed birthday parties. I have 22 nieces and nephews or more. I miss family dinners. I'm working. And so that's just a part of the sacrifice that you have to make when you're an entrepreneur and you're building your legacy. It's just all a part of it. It's a part of it, and you got to love what you do. So I heard someone say earlier, you got to love what you do, man. Yeah. You got to love it. If you don't love it, it's going to show. And people say, Nakeah, you're so resilient. Like I've been through the highs and the lows of the beauty industry. You're still here, girl. I'm like, hallelujah, because it's no joke. Things are forever changing. However, you just got to roll with it and stay in it and definitely remind yourself of your purpose and your passion.
So I have a two-part question. First question is, Brave, you were on Making the Band with Diddy. Did you learn anything from him that you use in your personal business? And for Nakeah, is there any person that you model yourself after in order to build your brand?
So I learned 2 major things during that experience, and you bringing me way back. I'm like, Making It a Band. Was I in that? I was. Okay. So 2 major things that I learned was when I was first discovering that I could sing. I didn't know that I could sing. I was a rapper. I was a poet. every time you hear me perform, I was spitting. I loved Tupac. I was writing rhymes. I didn't know that I could sing until maybe a few weeks before that making of the band experience. And then I learned three major things. One, being in that environment, I knew that I wanted to surround myself around singers to grow. I knew that the life that I wanted to lead, not to say that I knew that I had to constantly be in a development, growing phase. So that's where I birthed the idea of starting a girl group. Secondly, I learned that confidence can take you 90% of the way. Even if you have self-doubt, if you don't show that and mimic that through your speech, through when you stand in a room, no one else is going to know. So for me, even though I had just discovered that I could sing, I got on that stage like I was about to give him Whitney Houston. Lord knows how I sounded. Who freaking knows? But my confidence was so strong because I'm like, this is what I want to do. I want to be a part of this entity. Show up brave. And that was a very valuable lesson for me because a lot of times people will fail themselves way before a failure is even existent. And just because there's self-doubt and they let it show. We all have doubts. We all have insecurities. You just have to really, I don't mean to do another play on words, but you got to brave through those moments and really just show up. The third thing that I learned from Diddy is, I don't want to get too spiritual, but we've all heard the Bible verse, be anxious for nothing. I learned what that truly meant during that period because so many lawyers were telling me, do not sign this contract. Brave, don't do it. But my inner self, just wanting it, just being so eager, wanting to get into the business, I wanted to sign, despite the facts of knowing that this was not a good deal at all, to any degree. So that moment taught me that you sincerely sometimes have to step away, pray, calm down, and listen to people that are smarter than you. I learned that during that experience, that despite what I may have wanted, there were people that were guiding me that I actually put in place and was paying to navigate me. So it was almost like a slap in the face when you have those people, but you don't listen. So for me, I listened and I didn't move forward with the contract. But those were some things that definitely stuck out during that season.
Yes. So good. Abdul, that was such an amazing question. My answer in regards to anyone that I model my business after or myself after, before there was a Nakeah Fuller, there were a long list of amazing legends in makeup. And one in particular that has been a big inspiration to my career, my move to Los Angeles, me following my passion in beauty, is Sam Fine. The legendary Sam Fine. I should have asked Sam to log on. I'll make sure he gets a copy of this because Sam, I got his book, Fine Beauty, back in like 1991, 92. And I saw him working on Naomi Campbell, Queen Latifah, Anita Baker. I mean, so many beautiful Black women. And I said, this is what I want to do. And he lived in New York, and I read his story about his triumph of sleeping on the floor in New York City. And then there was Reggie Wells working with Oprah Winfrey. And I said, there's a such thing as being a professional makeup artist. And it's really sad, I will say, Abdul, because a lot of the new millennial artists don't even know these people. I walked into Sephora and I asked the young lady if she knew. I said, do you know Sam Fine? Do you know Pat McGrath? I'm like, Pat McGrath has a makeup line in here and you don't even know who she is? She is a legend. And her specialty was runway fashion in London. And she's like, I'm like, her product is in the store. And it's sad that a lot of the younger generation of makeup artists don't know these legends that have come before them. And I make a point to, and it inspires me to teach the younger generation that say, oh, I'm a makeup artist. I'm a makeup artist. Are you really? Do you know the legends that come before you that change lives in beauty, fashion, and entertainment? And a lot of times they don't. They don't know. So I make a point to educate the younger artists. But Reggie Wells, Sam Fine, Pat McGrath, thank you so much. You guys inspire artists like myself to change lives in beauty. Yeah.
So I have a question. I was going to ask a different question, but you just made a good point about a lot of the younger generation. They don't know. They don't know the legends. They don't know the history. My question would be for you and for Brave, if you want to answer. What do you think of all of these new makeup artists or hairstylists or actors or singers who are making it just from their Instagram, and now they're professional makeup artists, and now everybody's like, oh my God, I got to have their brand, or I got to get my makeup done by these people, but they don't know the history. They don't know all of that. So from a makeup artist perspective, and then also from an artist perspective, Brave. So we'll go back to you, Nakeah, since you brought that up.
I will say I'm so excited to hear Brave's input on this, because I'm a music lover, and I hear artists share their story. You know, I always, me being a owner of a makeup school, I always told students YouTube is not makeup school. If you want to learn how to apply makeup on someone else, I share a story, Christy, with my students and those who I have the opportunity to share. My former manager and agent suggested one year during the SAG Awards, I was hired to bring in a team of hair and makeup artists. Every year we do the award season, the Oscars, Golden Globes, etc. And for the SAG Awards one particular year, they said, Nakeah, you should bring in a YouTube influencer and this particular influencer has 100K followers and she's famous and everyone loves her. You got to bring her on board. And I said, okay, wonderful, bring her on. So we interviewed a lot of different big YouTubers with 100K plus followers. This particular one, she seemed to have the most influence and the most engagement. We brought her on board for the SAG Awards. We got backstage. They began to bring the actors in. There's Tracy Ellis Ross. There's so many powerful, amazing talents flooding in for touch-ups and makeup. And she tapped me on my shoulder, and I'm there assigning, saying, you in chair number 1, chair number 2, chair number 3. And we got to roll because we owe time. And my girls that I've trained are working. They're like, whoop, 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 hair, da, da. My barbers are cutting hair, touching up. And this particular artist tapped me on my shoulder. And she said, Nakeah, this influencer, she said, can I talk to you for a minute outside? So we stepped outside to the side of the stage. I said, what is it? Is everything okay? She said, is it okay if I just take pictures and shoot video? I don't feel comfortable working on anybody else. What? Because we have numbers and we're on a time schedule. And I said, what do you mean? Because that means I'm going to be short an artist. She said, I don't feel comfortable doing makeup, but you got 100K followers on YouTube. I don't understand. And she said, I know, but that's because I work on me. I said, I just literally walked away, got my brushes and went to work. Now, remind you, I was scheduled to be on the red carpet touching up the celebrities as they get out of the car, those who are scheduled to do red carpet interviews. So now I got to be 2 places because I got a YouTube star who do not know how to do makeup. And and my ladies said, what's wrong, Nakeah? Is everything all right? Why is she not doing no makeup? We running behind now. I said, y'all, she don't know how to do what? She got 100K plus followers.
Right.
So that's just, I'm going to share that as an example. Right. Because when I see the numbers, I don't care. I want to see the credentials. Who trained you? Let me see your resume. Let me check your references. I don't care about 250K followers on Instagram. I personally don't. Yeah. And the shows that I work on, they don't care either. They don't. They call me. They say, Nakeah, we want real artists. And I know the young ladies and the checks that they get from YouTube, God bless them. But I also know that my artists are making day rates. So the directors and producers are respecting the real talent. So they call me and say, Nakeah, can you send us hair and makeup? Can you get us hair and makeup on this set? And they are paying them for their talent, not for their numbers.
For their numbers, right. How about you? Yeah, how about you, Brave? What are your thoughts on it?
It's crazy because I've seen both sides. And like I said, my word for this year was pivot. And a lot of that also, I feel like maybe, not that my mind frame is still old school, but it's like you work at your craft, you be great and you study, you do. to the best of your ability, it shouldn't just be shallow talent, and shallow talent meaning just based off of numbers, right? Based off of how many Instagram followers you have. Unfortunately, in the world, especially of entertainment, that is what the prize possession. It's like we hold these numbers to this standard that you are not valuable if you don't have a particular following, and that part I hate. I always hated it. I still hate it. On the flip side, I have seen many talented people who I can give kudos to for taking this new platform and this new, taking this platform and making it work for them.
Right.
I've seen success stories. I've seen where people have been blessed because of it. So it's really just a matter of finding a niche that works for you. And then, like I said, and pivoting, because for me, it's like, it's almost like we have to include this in our day to day. We have to include this. You have art, you have to share. People, record execs, they look at these numbers, and I've seen artists, I mean, even for myself, I didn't get signed for years, not because I don't want to say who didn't think I was talented, but he went straight to my IG page at the time and was like, oh, 1,000 followers. And it was just like, so did you just not see my performance? It's just like, It didn't matter. So in a world where numbers and social media can trump talent, it sucks. But also in the world where you can make it work for you and you can receive income and you can see a manifestation of your hard work. It's like a double-edged sword. To me, it's definitely a double-edged sword.
It's something that I realized that you have to, because I am a little bit older, where we didn't start with the Instagram. It was about talent and your representation. And now it's about, the numbers that you have. And I realized that I have to find the happy medium, that I do have to do the work, because it's like, I feel like social media is what our parents were experiencing when emails and computers and stuff started. To me, it's the same thing, because you gotta learn how to do this stuff. So before I ask you guys about balance, I just wanted to throw it to, Abdul or Janora, if you guys have something.
I do.
Yeah, me too.
Go ahead.
So you ladies are, like I said, inspiring, holding it down, doing your thing in your own lane, blazing your trail. But I know that there are sometimes when it's hard, or when you get that no, that you're not quite able to pivot as quickly, that it just kind of takes you down for a minute. So I want to know from the both of you, when you are in that darker, lonelier place, what gets you back up again?
For me, I'm a believer there's power in numbers. So if you are blessed to find people of integrity, people that love you, people that support you, a support system, you can't do this thing by yourself. I don't care what industry you're in. I don't care if there's just one person rooting for you in your corner. Those moments when you start to second guess and want to give up, that's where you call in your tribe. That's when you call in your support system. That's when it's like, okay, I need a helping hand. I need a hug, maybe a shot of tequila. I need somebody to listen to me that won't judge me and help me navigate through this. So for me, it's definite that there's power in numbers. Find that one person that you trust, because you are going to experience those moments. And some days you might be strong enough to handle it on your own and get past it. And other days you're going to need a support system. So for me, I'm blessed that I have an amazing support system that holds me up on those days when I feel like I can't hold myself up.
Nice.
Yes.
How about you? Nakeah.
Yes, I agree 100% with Brave. Today I was feeling some kind of way, even when my car got to, a brand new vehicle, and I go down and the car's gone. And I'm just like, I'm having a bad day. And then my brother called and lifted me back up and said, no, you're not having a bad day. You just had a little something, and you can just keep it moving. However, my team member, I don't like to call them my staff, but I was chewing her out about some things regarding a customer. And then, God laid it on my heart, call her back and remind her of y'all's purpose. You just chewed her out, and you ripped her real good, for not taking care of a particular thing and the way it was handled. And they know me. They know I believe in in excellence. And I said, you were a little hard on her, but you were correct what you said. It wasn't handled properly. So I called her back and I said, you know what, let's pray. I said, because I'm feeling some kind of way. And I said, we're going to pray. And I said, we are going to remember why we are in this. We need to remember why we're in this. A lot of our customers, I reminded her and I reminded myself, these women have been abused. They have gone through a lot. We as women go through a lot, and I said, but when they put that makeup on, they feel like they can conquer the world. So I especially my product, they always say, oh, I feel good. Yes, this don't feel heavy. This don't feel cakey. My husband loves it. My man say he loves the way your foundation looks on my skin. And I said, we have to remember our purpose. And I said, let's pray. And I just started praying. And she said, ooh. So that's what that's what I do, to answer your question, is I pray. I go in and I can be having a crazy day, but I have to stop and say, you know what, give me a minute. And I'll step away and I just go talk to God and say, Lord, I know you got me. I know. And then before you know it, I'm back to whistling and dancing and like, hey, so, that's just what I have to do. I got to stay prayed up. And when I miss days of praying, y'all, you can tell because I'm cranky. I'm rolling and somebody, and I'm flipping them off and I'm like, you know what, let me get in my corner.
Yeah.
So that's what I do. Yeah.
So in this business that we're all in, there's these two narratives that seem to be consistent. One is that on the male side, they're very misogynistic. On the women's side, they're very catty. Have you guys had to deal with that? And if so, how did you navigate through that? Or what did you do to respond to that?
How much time we got? Ooh, Abdul, that question. And I would love to actually hear every woman's opinion about this, because for me, I have still yet to find the happy medium. I like to think that I'm graceful when it comes to politely rejecting maybe someone that I'm not interested in, if it's a man of power, if it's a man that's in a position who I can tell the conversation is starting to lean a little left. And I'm like, okay, wait, because what I've learned in my personal journey is that no matter how polite you are when it comes to veering the conversation, keeping it on business, or just saying, in a polite way that, I'm not interested, or I have a boyfriend, or whatever lie we have to say to exit, it doesn't matter. I've noticed for me that when some people hear or feel rejected, it becomes almost like a smear campaign. I could not believe stories that have gotten back to me that for example, a single of mine did not get played at a radio station because I didn't give the program director my phone number. Right. And so when it got back to the label, they were like, well, every station in the city in the state is playing except for this one. But they said the Brave was a B. And I was like, wait, I gave everyone a hug. Like, people that know me know my spirit. I love people. I'm very interactive. I that's why I'm a trainer. I love interacting and connecting with people. And I couldn't believe it. And then when it came back that, well, I asked her on a date, she said no. I'm like, well, so for me, I get very awkward, and I'm still trying to learn how to navigate that, because it's tough. It is tough because it's like you have to walk on a particular eggshell depending on, I don't know. I mean, that is one part that I don't like. In terms of women and being catty, my experience has been very collaborative. I haven't gotten that side of it, even being an R&B Divas LA, despite whatever the drama was or whatever was happening in that moment. To me, it was all about a spirit of collaboration. Like, we can get through this. It's always the other side that be like, I'm still trying to get. Y'all need to school me, because.
Yeah, I mean, and everybody's experience doesn't have to be so bad. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really find too many catty people, women in the industry that are in my circle. And if they are, somehow or another, it gets changed when they're around me, so I haven't really experienced that. How about you, Nakeah?
I haven't either. From a makeup artist perspective, it's like, oh, Nakeah, you going to work with her? Oh, let me tell you, she's a mess, honey. Her attitude is real stank, and she gonna give you hell, and she like her makeup this way. And I'm like, okay. And I always get there, and it's totally
Never
different.
that. Right.
Yeah, it's totally different.
Yeah.
And I believe that energies, work. Some energies work together, and some of them just don't. But I've never had some of the artists that are known to be divas, and I meet them and they like, hey girl, hey, oh, you cute with your pink hair, I see you, girl. And then we, like, oh, do you like what you want to eat, Nakeah? Come by the house on Saturday, would you like to join us for dinner? It's always that. Always that. And with the fellas, it's even more amazing, when you look at my list of clients: Harrison Ford, Mike Epps, Pierce Bronson. These guys trust me. They love me. They know I'm not there. They know they ain't getting laid by me. They know Nakeah gonna make sure I look good. She gonna make sure my skin is right. She's about business and her money. And so she loves her dog. They know that I am true, and it's no faking and shaking. So I have more male clients, Abdul, than I have female clients, believe it or not. Most of my clients are men. I've been told that I've been hired before that reason, because the men love you. They love you. They know you're not trying to lay all up on them. I had a situation with a client when Harrison Ford called me. They said that the artist was coming to work, again, back to energies and vibes. She was coming to work with half shirts on and boobs out, and she got to powder his face, and they just like, really? And so they said, get Nakeah in here. Get Nakeah, and they sent the jet. I was in Dallas. They sent the jet to get me, only because she wasn't dressed appropriately to groom him. And then I got the job. And it was just, and I come in and dressed professionally. And then it's like, Nakeah, we're going to send a jet to get you next week too. So I don't have that issue, thank God.
So I want to make sure that people get a chance to see your products, your stuff. Do we have Brave's video, her newest video, Martika? Can we play that just, so that people can see that? I'm not sure if it's on here yet. Okay, great. So yes, so let's play. What I want to make sure that we do is we show your line, Nakeah, and we also want to show a little bit of your newest video that you have, Brave. So let's play that right now. We'll show the video first. It's coming up soon, I'm sure. It will come up in right now. It's frozen. It's frozen. Okay. Well, let me do this while we are trying to wait for. Okay. Let's see. I'll get that in a second, but let me share some of Nakeah's. Can you guys see that? Do you guys, nope, you don't see. Oh, wow, we are really having some issues right now. Okay, well, it's not working. Okay, well, never mind, forget it.
You just gotta put your lips up, so you got her lipstick on. You gotta put your lips on the camera.
I know. I feel a little like, what's the problem? This is really weird because nothing is kind of showing.
They can check it out on the website at NakeahFuller.com and NakeahCosmetics.com. Yeah,
they have. Okay, so I just kind of wait. There we go. Maybe let me see. There we go. There's that. There's her line. Look how pretty that is.
Magic in a bottle.
Yeah. So that, and then I guess everything's kind of frozen. So, oh, okay. So there's Nakeah's line. It's absolutely beautiful. I wear it all the time. I'll show you a couple more lipsticks, but we have the video available. So let's pull that up right now. I think it's coming.
While it's loading, I can give some shout outs.
Okay, let's do that.
How about Dame with 2 mics up? He's got an amazing podcast and has been rolling with us ever since our paths have crossed. So what's up, Dame? Dame and Lisa. Want to shout out Vanice. She also has a podcast, More to Say, with her wife Amy. They are awesome and in the house as well. Angela Ray, I'm not sure if you're still there, but she's also my soror from Kappa Omicron chapter back in University of North Carolina, Delta Sigma Theta. I always just want to shout out my folks. Also, other people, Utella's been bringing it. Tamika, hello, welcome. It's always great to see new faces. So for those of you guys who are tuning in for the first time, again, please make sure you like, you share, you follow. Elaine, complimenting you, Christy. Beautiful smile. Thank you for being here, Elaine. Yep, those are my shout outs. All done.
Beautiful, beautiful. And I think we're about to show the video right now.
Great, good timing.
Awesome sauce.
I know you wanna wait. I know you've had your heart broken before. This is a safe place, you can be sure that I'm everything you need and so much more, so much more. I'm selfish, I don't wanna share none of your love when it comes to you, baby. Don't tell me no, no, baby, let yourself fall for me. Don't tell me no, no, baby, let your heart fall to me, yeah, yeah. Had your false alarms, had lovers that turned into strangers, but baby, I can see beneath those.
Yes.
Yes.
You better go ahead on your own record label.
Yes, I just released it yesterday. The song is out everywhere on every streaming platform. So I definitely appreciate the support. It's called Don't Tell Me No for everybody. Don't Tell Me No. That's what the title's called.
I love it. And
Nice. I just want to say, Brave, your eyes. I'm an artist, so I know, makeup. So I noticed, I always notice everybody's unique feature, immediately. Abdul, I see your feature. I see everybody's features immediately, right? With Brave, it's right here. That camera, when it hits your eyes, it says, look at me, I'm here, I'm woman. Yes. It is in your eyes, girl. So I would tell the cameraman, get her eyes, because it's right in here where you grabbed me and made me say, ooh, and I just love it. And you're stunning. We got to get you some product, girl. I'm going to make sure I get your contact information.
Yes, and I'll be in the 20th. So
please reach out. I need to make sure and get you some product. I just want to deepen up your cheeks a little bit for that camera, just right in here, just a little, just when the camera hits and it just contours you a little bit more for the next one.
Let's do it.
So I just want to say, just so you know, all these little products that I have in my hand, these are all Nakeah's. Like, I'm not playing. Look, check out this beautiful color right here. Look at that. And she has made me step out, because I would never wear something like this. I was like, girl, no. Christy Ferris don't do them colors. You know what I mean? So I just want you to see her presentation, y'all, and again, what's so wonderful about her line is that it really does. I'm out, girl. So I'm just letting you know right now. I got you. I'm out. Yes. What's so great is that a lot of times, for Black women, Black people in general, we usually have to blend two colors, a lot of times. But we don't have to blend colors with her line. It's so amazing. Like, I could just smack that sucker on my face and keep it moving. which is so wonderful. So if you guys are interested, you should definitely support her business. It's incredible. I mean, her makeup line is just incredible, and just to see you grow, it just puts me in awe. So is there anything else, you guys, that you Janora and Abdul, and you guys are gonna have to forgive me because I am literally on 2 hours of sleep. I'm exhausted. I could just finish shooting yesterday. I woke up this morning, but I am here. I wanted to make sure that I was here to support. So, Janora and Abdul, I appreciate you holding it down. Go ahead.
We were going to hold it down for you.
Just one thing, actually 2 questions. I had a question about Fenty, but I don't know if that's getting like too messy. So if you don't want to talk about
there, you can go there. Please, it's great coming from a male.
So, one, Brave Williams is a really good, really talented screenwriter. People don't know that about her, but she's really talented and she got some really good things coming up. So you should speak more about that. And the Fenty question is, how did she corner that market with Black women when there were so many others doing it before her? In terms of trying to match, like what I've seen from her, because I used to work Fashion Week every year for like 10 years straight. I worked Fashion Week in New York, both seasons, because I was a sound engineer. I started off as a sound engineer first and then moved into writing. So, but I knew the people who were out there working and doing things specifically for Black women. How did she corner that market? Like from a business side.
How did who corner that market? How did
Rihanna? Like it seems like that Fenty line is really.
Yeah, Rihanna is Rihanna. I mean, she's a bad girl. But what we must understand, and what a lot of my clients do know and understand, is Fenty is owned. How do I say this without it offending anyone? Rihanna is a spokesperson for Fenty. Rihanna is the face of Fenty. The owners are Caucasian and Asian. So with my brand, my customers around the world are quite loyal because they know that I am the owner, I am the founder, I am the creator. There is no Ching Ling, who put up 80 mil, who paid me 90 mil to say, y'all buy my product. It's Nakeah Fuller and her 20 years of grinding, her 20 years of, coming to Hollywood with a screwdriver, her 20 years of being on sets for 12 and 14 hours and going home with her corns on her toes, barking, saying, ooh, and then she still created a makeup line, and it's hers. It's all hers. It's not someone who put up the money. I put up my own money. I sold my home, I sold my cars, and I put up $150,000 of my money. I've had investors to reach out to me from around the world, and I've even had an Asian couple to walk into my store on Melrose and say, we want to buy your line. I'm like, I just got started. Give me a minute. I ain't done yet. I'm still perfecting this baby. I still got a ways to go. And also, when you think about it, a lot of the celebrities, when they endorse a line, it's hot and then it's gone. I ain't going nowhere. I'll be here and my line will be here even when I'm gone. So I'm building a legacy that will live on forever, just like Chanel, and a lot of people in the industry call me the Black Chanel. I said, I'll take it, I'll take it. But a lot of the brands and the celebrity brands that have come out over the years, they're gone in about 5 years. Most of them don't last past 10.
Right. So I got a follow-up question just for something that you said, and it's actually for both of you, Brave. I'm sorry if I'm taking up too much time, but so for Brave on the music side, having to record, there's a budget that you need. On the makeup side, there's a budget that you need. How do you get capital?
Wow. Multiple streams of income. To be honest with you, when I first started in music, before I was signed, I was always in fitness, but I was boxing. So I would win matches and put that money towards studio. And it started very, very young. So it wasn't until maybe my fourth or fifth fight, I got hit in my ear and I had a ringing in my ear. And I was like, okay, Brave, we got to find another way to make some money. because you need your ears to sing. But ultimately, hence the idea of Brave Williams Fitness Club. I knew I always had a passion for training. I knew I always had a passion for creating videos to help clients download virtual, train one-on-one. And that was just, for me, one source at the time that I didn't realize would fund so much of my music. In terms of music, even just with publishing, being able to write those publishing checks are great. So it's just finding a niche, finding what works for you. And it may take time before you make money. I didn't see money the first 10 years. Hence why I was, strictly doing fitness to fund music. But for me, it was always a spirit of, I know this is what I want, and I'm not waiting on someone to give it to me. I know that I need to go out and work for it, whatever that may have looked like. For me, it was boxing at the time. But that's what I was willing to do because I knew that I needed to invest in myself. And like Nakeah said, you can have people along the way that say, hey, I want to invest, $100,000 or $200,000, but it's like, well, at the cost of what? And you have to kind of just weigh and balance what works for you. And for me, that's why I'm so appreciative of creating my own label, because I'm already doing the administrative. I'm hiring the street teams. I'm hiring the radio. And it's mine. I don't have to answer to 20 people about what song I want to put out. I get to create the video, the vision. I have to pay for it. But that's par for the course. So I hope
who would have thought that this beautiful, gorgeous person and face was a boxer? I just love it. I'm like, yes. Yes. Exactly. And Tamika said, pretty girls box. How about you, Nakeah?
Yes, I will say very similar to Brave. I launched my academy first. I launched the academy initially in 2006. And when I started the academy, we started at $7,000 per student. And all we did was put up, I taught at some other makeup schools, and I kind of saw what they were missing. And then I started my own at $7,000 per student, and students flooded in from around the world. And my first accountant said to me, when we're in the middle of a recession and you've made $500,000 in 3 months. And then she said, you made your first $1 million, your first year in business. This is unheard of. I was teaching makeup classes downtown Los Angeles year round with no break. I would only take a week off for Christmas. We take a week off, and then right after Christmas, I was back in my office putting makeup kits together, preparing for that class that would start every year, January 2nd, with students coming from Norway, Egypt, Jamaica, Africa, and being the first African-American makeup school to launch in the city of Los Angeles. I did that year-round training for 8 years straight, and then I launched my makeup line. So I was determined to fund my own company, my own makeup line, because I have relatives who've launched their businesses and they're in debt. I would go to their house and I see all the bills on their desk, on their bar, and they're stressed out because they're $150,000, $500,000 in debt. A friend of mine owns a nail salon, a chain of nail salons, and she's like, I'm like over $1 million in debt to the banks and to the, and I'm just like, I didn't want that. I said, if I just have to do lipsticks and then foundations and then skincare, slowly but surely, I wanted to fund my own business. Now we've grown so much to where now I have to get capital, because now we've grown beyond just Nakeah funding the company. So it's like, now you are launched, you have this worldwide store, you need warehouses in each region. I can't fund that by myself. So now that's when the banks are saying, now how much money do you need? And I'm still very, very skeptical. However, it's like either I keep it small or we go huge. We go Fortune 500. Right. So that's when you have to make a decision. Do you want to stay small and be an independent company? Or do you want to go public and have other people involved? And now I'm at a point where it's like, I got to hire a CEO because I can't be the CEO anymore. We're growing, right? So it's just level to level to level. But I'm fortunate to where I was able to do my own funding for the first few years.
Let me ask you, and Shanora, you can take over after that. But let me ask. I want to start with you, Brave. You know, how do you find balance? I mean, you have the writing, you have your training, you have the music, you have the acting. How do you find the balance with, taking care of business, relationships, family, friends, you know what I mean? Because it's a constant hustle and bustle, like I just went away for a whole entire month and, I was away, but I'm still trying to find that balance. How do you do that? And then I'll ask the same for you, Nakeah.
Honestly, sometimes what I've learned in life is that, and I really just believe it's by the grace of God, that the way that seasons happen, so far up into this point in my life, it's always kind of worked out. Like if I'm studying a movie or if I'm reading a script and I'm diving into a character, the album's already done. It just so happens I'm not recording. So I'm able to devote that time to the movie. Even with, like Abdul mentioned, with the script that he so graciously helped me complete and just came in and helped me pin my ideas together to create an actual story from beginning to end. I knew that it was going to take time to sit down and write, to get my thoughts out enough so that I could present to him and say, hey, this is the movie idea that I have. But you have to fight. Sometimes you do have to fight for moments to prioritize what is important to you, what can be on the back burner. Fortunately for me, and I'm sure like you guys can relate, when you have people in your life who are rooting for you, they understand when you have to miss the birthday party, like Nakeah mentioned earlier, when you can't show up for the family dinner, despite you may wanting to be there, but work calls. So there is a sacrifice. Sometimes it doesn't always feel good, but as you mentioned, when you stay true to your purpose and your why on why this is important and why you're doing it, it always works itself out. And to go back to even when I spoke about earlier, having a support system, those people help when you're able to delegate certain tasks, because sometimes as artists, we will get tripped up, not off the big agenda, but just the little details that have to happen before the big moment. And that's when your team can come in and you can delegate and just try to not overwhelm yourself with those meticulous things. It always ends up working itself out.
That's good. I mean, I think the whole key is the delegation, you know what I mean? And I mean, yeah. I don't know if this show would be happening if, Janora and Abdul and Martika was doing all that, but I just feel like you really have to make sure that you have a team to be able to pull things together, because you can't do everything. Otherwise, something gets not only put on the burner, but it falls to the wayside and you had all this momentum and now it dies and then you got to pick it back up and start all over again. So I'm glad that you said about the team and the delegation. How about you, Nakeah?
The team is everything. Scheduling is also important because I am a jumper and, fly by night, I'm just like, let's just go. I have to often stop myself and say, no, stick to the schedule. You have to stick to that schedule. So I schedule in my personal time. I schedule in time to go to the beach. When I started to schedule, I became healthier in every way, mentally, physically, and emotionally. So now it's a part of me, part of my being, knowing that I have to schedule. I have to schedule my morning coffee. I have to schedule my workout. I have to set alarms to remind me it's time to work out. I have to say, it's time to place an order. And my alarms are constantly going off throughout the day. If I get off track, I'm a mess, so it's just the most creatives have ADD. You're all over the place. And then you look up and a week has gone by and you haven't accomplished anything. So I always tell people that ask me that question, schedule and set the alarms.
And
it helps with the balance.
And to piggyback off what you said really quickly, one thing that I have learned is that we can't expect people to be mind readers. Like the team that we have in place, sometimes we get so caught up on just the momentum of going, that we expect people to know what they should do. And that can make the job even that much harder. Whereas communication is such key, even down to the most minuscule thing that you think someone should already know. No, simply take the time to open your mouth and be specific and say what it is that you need to make your life and theirs easier.
I love it. Janora, did you have anything?
Well, you know what? Every set of questions and answers that happen with these two, it's a whole nother layer. It's a whole nother onion peel that we are getting to and are moved and touched by. Maybe I know I'm an emotional person, so sometimes it's the tears. You just can't see them right now. But in other words, y'all are spitting knowledge, and there's so many layers to what you both offer and to your journey that I think we need to have them back on again. That was a really long response to say we need to have them back on again to continue to explore their journeys. I mean, I didn't even ask nothing about fitness, and you know that this sister's trying to lose her COVID-19. So I need both of them back in my lives.
I love it. I love it. Well, we want to make sure that we get to our BPS. Abdul, before we do that, was there anything else that you wanted to bring up, say?
Oh, no. Thank you both for coming on. I appreciate you. Very informative, like someone said in the comment section. Yeah. That was it.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I mean, these two beautiful women that I've had the pleasure to work with know, you know, you guys are just phenomenal, and you're an inspiration. You are, you're what every Black woman needs to be, how to be, not needs to be, but just inspired to be, because you're making things happen. You're doing things, you're going after your goals. And even though you have your setbacks, you still get yourself up and you still make it work, and you're doing it. And I think that's the key thing. And of course, my lips. That's what I'm gonna do the whole time. My lips. And I'm definitely gonna be on your workout program, Brave, because I need to get it together.
Try to back up on. I'm gonna start doing my IG lives again. So I will definitely make sure that you are in the know. So
yes,
I can join in and we can be sweating it out together.
I love it. I love it. I am back from filming, so I got to get back on, and that's part of the issue sometimes, is that you'll be on a routine, and then some type of performance or something comes up, and then you start focusing on that, and then you get back home and you're off your game. And so I just want to make sure that that I stay on it. And Nakeah has been making sure that I've been keeping my face and makeup and stuff, because I hate doing that all the time. But I've been doing it, and I wear your lipstick every show.
Yay! I'm so proud of you.
Yeah. So all right. So let's get to our BPS person of the week. Is a woman. She has blazed a trail in the world of costume design. Ruth E. Carter. As an American costume designer for film and television with over 40 films to her credit, who has mastered the look of multiple periods and genres and envisioning the clothing and overall appearance of a character or performer. During her 30-year film career, Carter has been nominated 3 times for the Academy Awards for Best Costume Design for her work on Spike Lee's biographical film Malcolm X, Steven Spielberg's historical drama film Amistad, and her most recent work on Ryan Coogler's Marvel superhero film Black Panther, for which she became the first African-American to win an Academy Award for Best Costume Design. When asked about her contribution to the film Black Panther, Ruth said, "I've always been drawn to the Afro future. It's been called different things throughout the years. Back in the 90s, it was the Neo Soul, and there was a lot of interest in colors of the liberation flag, red, black, and green. It's made a comeback today, which is exciting because I was always inspired by the messaging that the liberation colors represented. Being independent and strong, knowing about the authenticity of your culture." Recently, Ruth Carter receives a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame for her work as a costume designer. Because of your imagination and futuristic thinking, Ruth, you have inspired children all over the world to think beyond the confines of their current situation. Ooh. And for that, Ruth Carter, you are our BPS person of the week. So, Miss Ruth, I got a chance to hang out with her when she was being nominated for a couple of things. So, we wanted to make sure we gave a shout out, as we always do. Everybody out there, we love to honor somebody out there that you might not know in the community who's doing amazing work. So we want to make sure that we honor Ruth Carter. Again, Nakeah, Brave, thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for being a part of our family, the BPS family. Please make sure you come back on the show. Keep us posted so we can keep advertising whatever you guys got going on, because now you have some new followers. And we just want to say thank you to everybody who's out there for joining us again. And then, somebody just said, by the way, I absolutely love your role in monogamy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's what I was shooting. And that's what I just flew back from this morning from shooting that. Yes.
We forgot to mention that this month is Women's History Month.
Yes.
And a couple of days ago was National Women's Day. So this show was dedicated for that particular thing. So I just wanted to remind you both of that.
Yes. Thank you for that. And I also want to say thank you to the both of you, Janora and Abdul, for making me your BPS Person of the Week for my birthday.
Yes,
I'm honored.
Monday.
Yes. So thank you so much for that. And we're going to sign out and say goodbye. We will see you guys next week. And anything else you guys want to say? Make sure you follow Nakeah. I know that her handle is there, and Brave. Make sure you guys get a chance to follow them on their IG. There's Nakeah. I don't know why this says Fulter, but it's Fuller. And then Brave. And then that's it. And as soon as I get off this phone, I am going to bed, y'all, for the rest of the night until Friday, until I have to work at Disney on Friday. So good night, and we'll definitely talk to you soon.
Brave, I'll reach out via Christy.
I got you. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.